So I had stated in my last video that this whole incursion into Israel by Hamas looked very much orchestrated by both sides, right? To what degree, how it all played out, who cares, right? But this was pretty plain to see because, again, Israel is known for being a very, very high security state. Their security, their intelligence is just on another level, perhaps to anybody else in the world, right? They're deeply embedded in many governments all over the world. Also, Hamas, like, this is just known, right? They have their spies within Hamas in Gaza, right? They have the apparatus to be able to spy on anybody. Not to say that Hamas doesn't try to thwart, let's say, for example, the Israeli satellites with bed sheets hanging, outside their windows, things of that nature, right? But I mean, the technological capabilities, the difference between Israel and Hamas is just great, right? The wall that divides Israel from Gaza Strip, it's got all kinds of sensors on it all over the place, alarms, right? It's supposedly monitored all the time. I mean, Israel is an open-air prison, right? Their own people are essentially slaves, right? It's a police state. Oh, and Egypt apparently warned Israel about this happening, right? This happened on whatever anniversary of, I think it's the Yom Kippur War, right? It's just, this is so obviously, and the Israeli response was delayed, This was so obviously orchestrated, it's not even funny. And now the media are calling it, Israel's 9/11. Say hello to the dancing Israelis once again, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right? Oh, and because of all of that, and knowing that, and I'm not even an expert on Middle East affairs or what's going on in Israel, but the little bit that I do know, it just leads me to, this is Occam's razor, baby. You know what I mean? No need to invent other potential possibilities when there is one very simple answer and the path to it pretty direct and clear, right? So I did like 30 seconds of research, right? And it turns out that, well, Israel created Hamas, right? Hamas would not have existed had it not been for Israel, right? They funded it, in order to divide and conquer, right? The Palestinian people, and just to have, their people in control, basically. Now, I don't know what happened over the years and so on and so forth, but I'm not saying that Hamas has zero agency and does everything Israel tells them to, but however autonomous they are, these people, right, or however deeply Israel has their talons embedded in Hamas, I think it's safe to say Israel is the one pulling the strings, right? And with the political turmoil in Israel, the sort of legal trouble that Netanyahu's been going through, the sort of opposition that he's been getting from his people because of some of the draconian measures, right? And how he's been treating, quote unquote, his own people, right? That he supposedly cares so much of. I mean, that's just another thing, right? Clearly, he thinks they're scum. He thinks they're below him. He thinks he doesn't treat them like human beings, his own people. So what's sacrificing, 600 or 10,000 of them for political gain or whatever, right? That doesn't mean shit to him, right? So, who benefits, right? Well, Benny and people like him, right? People who want to bring about the new Middle East, right? And there's another thing, that map he showed 2 weeks ago, of the new Middle East, where Palestine is nowhere to be seen, right? But yeah, if in doubt, just fucking Google it, right? Israel created Hamas, and after that, do you really need to know anything else? Do we still need to research and try to get to the bottom of it? I think it's pretty clear without, knowing the minutia and everything. It's pretty clear what's happening, I think, anyway, right? Who benefits? Now, onto Shani Luke, whatever her name is. Apparently, she's alive, according to her mother, who communicated with her or something like that. And she's in a Gaza hospital, right? Let's see if Israel bombs that one too. Just the sort of indiscriminate. I'm sure they're targeting somebody somewhere, but this sort of indiscriminate bombing that they're doing in Gaza, do they really give a fuck about these hostages? You know what I mean? Are they looking to negotiate to get them out of there? No, they're just fucking bombarding Gaza because that's what they wanted to do. Right? They've been known to, at least in one instance, get a military officer, I think, that Hamas, I think it was, took into captivity. They exchanged him for like 1,000 Hamas people that they had imprisoned in Israel, right? Well, wait a minute. Why would you let these savages back out into the jungle, right? For one military dude? Like, wait a minute. And if you did, right, it's as if you wanted Hamas to remain strong or something, right? And if you did that in that case, then why aren't you looking to get these people back? Looking to negotiate? You're just gonna right off the bat bomb the fuck out of them, right? Like that's gonna, I don't know, maybe that'll make them more willing to negotiate. But yeah, so apparently this German-Israeli girl, and truly we don't know if that's her, but her mother thought that it was based on the tattoo, right? And there she is, right, lying down, her leg clearly broken, not moving, right? So if indeed that is, it could be somebody else, right? But it probably is her, and if she is alive, then maybe she's just knocked out, right? Or just paralyzed in shock, whatever. But it was fair to assume she may have been dead because the sort of injury that she has, and she's not reacting to it at all. That was a fair conclusion, right? Given the fact that these animals murdered something like 600 people anyway, indiscriminately, right? But then again, I mean, he is holding her head, her hair, maybe just, keeping her in place because she's still barely moving around, right? Because she's alive, right? But now, the people that are somehow, I guess, looking to excuse what these savages did, or just looking to attack whatever their political agenda is, right? Attack Israel or tell you, I told you so. Now they're coming out with these hot takes. Everything you see in the news when it comes to war, right? Or everything you see on the news is propaganda. Wow. I mean, amazing hot take, buddy. Propaganda is part of war. Wow, really? You figured that out all by yourself? Bravo. You know what I mean? What's your fucking point? I mean, the sky is blue. What's your point? What are you trying to say? What's the argument? This just like, what are we doing? Gloating? About what? Because Shani isn't dead? So these people aren't animals? They put her in a hospital, so they're great guys now? They're just freedom fighters, right? What about 600 other people or so that they did kill? Or however many, like, they killed people, right? What about... So that didn't happen because Shani's alive, so all those other people are alive too? Right? What are people saying, right? What Shani became, or this lifeless body, what it became was a symbol of what had happened, right? It's not... Now, you know, I'm happy for her mom, you know what I mean? And hopefully she makes it home and, you know, fixes her life, stops doing drugs and all that other stuff, and makes something of herself. Or is that not okay to say? How the fuck you gonna be awake at 6 a.m. in the morning dancing your ass off? Yeah, okay. I thought so. Anyway. And how is Israel, right? This fucking police state with this great surveillance and raving to control the people. How are they still allowing drugs to get in? That's another thing, right? These DJs, ravers, right? They're just coming into the country, no doubt, carrying drugs with them. But whatever. It's a different topic. What Shani was just a symbol for what had happened, right? And she still is that. Whether she's just an archetype, right? Just because she's alive, right? Let's say she is. Well, that doesn't absolve these savages from what they did. She was just a symbol for their brutality. And I mean, okay, even if she's alive, well, her leg's clearly broken, right? Her bra is clearly off. Look at how they're handling her. Like a piece of meat, right? But just because she's still breathing in that photo and not like the Western media assumed dead, right? Then these guys are great guys because, you know, she's in the hospital, so they're great. Why is she in the hospital? Because she's an expensive piece of meat for them. That they get to do whatever they want to do with her, but ultimately might be able to save their own asses. It's a bargaining chip for them. She's a piece of fucking real estate. But what? They're great guys? We got it all wrong about them because she's alive all of a sudden? What about all these other people that are dead? And what condition is she in anyway? What stories will she have to tell after she's released, right? But that's going to be propaganda, right? Then some of you cunts out there are going to be wishing she were dead, right? Because I feel like this isn't over, right? Because she's already become somewhat of a symbol, she's going to have an advantage over a lot of these other hostages they got, right? She's going to be one of the first ones they're going to want to get because of all of this. But, you know, it's propaganda. What's your point? I mean, you're the one, you're spreading propaganda too. Like, what's your point? At the very least, make your propaganda mean something. What do you mean? It's propaganda. The sky is blue. I mean, people are so fucking disappointing.